Hey everyone, so thanks for watching this video. Just wanted to do a really quick overview on this lens here. This is by Lightdow. It's a 420 to 800 millimeter lens, and it comes in various mounts. The lens itself has a threaded mount at the rear end of it, and it includes the required adapter that you would need for your camera. So when you would order, you would specify Canon, Nikon, Sony, or whatever it happens to be, and they'll include the correct adapter for that. So onto the lens itself. It's basically a telescope for your camera. It does include your little tripod mount, so you could mount the lens just to kind of get your center of gravity right. The f-stops are set based on your magnification level, or your, which range of the lens you're using, and focus is achieved by rotating the front of the lens. So obviously this is actually loose right now, but once you lock that, then you're free to rotate and focus as you need to. So as far as zooming, you would just loosen this collar right here, and it's simply a push-pull zoom, and you can see starts at the 420 with an f of 8.3 down to 16 at 800 millimeters. So it seems very well built. I'll give it that. It does include a little carrying case as well, or a little carry pouch. So clearly you're not going to be taking any kind of indoor shots with a lens like this, but with an f of 8.3 at the better end of it, you're probably going to want to have damn near perfect light conditions, or you're going to use a longer exposure. And what I mostly got this lens for was just to be able to do some, hopefully, astrophotography. Trying to take some pictures of the moon and some, sky shots at night. So I'm going to be using a longer exposure anyway on those. So I'm not really concerned as long as I get a sharp photo. So I'm going to, basically throw this on my camera and see what kind of photos I get. And I'll, put up some of those photos in this video and kind of report back on what I found. But yeah, pretty simple to throw that on there. And, you might want to get a spare, if you're going to keep that mounted on there, you might want to get a spare cap that fits your camera mount so that you can just keep that adapter ring on it. Anyway, so I'm going to throw this on my camera and see what I get. So unfortunately, the tripod that I have is not the greatest, and I wasn't able to get all the shots that I wanted to, but I just took some random shots of tops of buildings and power poles and stuff. What I did notice is something that I completely overlooked, but right off the bat, you won't have any way of setting your f-stop. It's just that the lens itself doesn't have any kind of electronics, so it really won't, tell the camera that it has whatever f range, so you can't really set an f-stop to it. So you pretty much have to experiment between ISO and shutter speed to get the shots that you need. But it's not too hard because the camera does provide a, most cameras do have a built-in light meter, as was the case on my Canon Rebel T7. But I, just taking a few random shots, I was able to see that, anything out the window during the day, like if you're trying to do any kind of wildlife shots, you'll definitely have plenty of light. Even at the 800 millimeter f16, I still had more than enough light to be able to get some sharp pictures. The only other little, I wouldn't say nuisance, but the little quirk about the lens is that at the extreme range, especially, you will have to use either a hood or a filter of some type, because it does seem to be prone to a little bit of flare on the internal elements that can cause a little bit of color shift and things like that. But overall, it's really a great lens, especially for the price. I mean, This is just over $100, and something in that range with an autofocus made by Canon or Sigma or Tamron or any other company like that is going to cost you 10 times as much, if not more. So it's definitely a great alternative if you have a little bit of patience to deal with manual focus. I would actually recommend this as a little, you know, just a little lens that you could play around with and see if you're even going to want a higher end range. I mean, this would be the starting point before you go and spend $1,000+ on anything else. I would start with something like this, and even if you don't plan on spending $1,000 on something, you know, higher end, I would still recommend having something like this just to experiment with and try to get a few cool kind of shots. Like I said, maybe some shots of the night sky and see if you could capture the galaxies and all that. But you know, definitely for wildlife photography, as long as you have a tripod, then you are good to go. It's just with that zoom range, it's impossible to hold a camera steady with that long of a focal length on a lens. But anyhow, hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.